Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee, and welcome to this video. Thank you for dropping by. This is a little project we're making today. Isn't it cute? It's this milk carton style gift box. I just love it. And this uses the Fresh as a Daisy Designer Series paper and Pretty Peacock. And then I've got this lovely little clip closure. So really pretty. So let's get started and make a different one today. We're going to be using a different colorway, and the color we're going to be using is Balmy Blue, and I have it here all set up in my scoring board, and the piece measures 8.5 inches by 7 inches, and on the long side, the 8.5 inch side, we are going to score at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, and 8 inches. So it's a very simple 2, 4, 6, 8 box. Then we're going to turn it to the short side, and we're going to score at 2 inches, 5.5 inches, and 6.5 inches. And that's all of our scoring done. So now we can get rid of the scoring board, and we can fold on all of our score lines. And this is when a really good bone folder is absolutely invaluable, but it allows you to achieve a really nice crisp fold. So as you can see here, so not all bone folders unfortunately are born equal. You need to find one that's really has a good weight to it. And I would say this is an essential part of your basic crafting kit. So one more fold. We're going to do this on both ways at the top just to get it working really well. And then the little 1/2 inch at the top. And there we go. So there we have all of our folding done and burnishing, which is what we've just done. So now we're going to do some cutting, and with this little in the horizontal portrait, on the horizontal mode, we're going to, with the 1/2 inch score line to the right, we're going to cut off this little tab at the bottom. So you can just see it here, and we're just going to cut it off at a slight angle. There you go. Get rid of that, and then we're going to cut up along the score line to the score line. So along the score line to the score line. So this is the 2 inch score line, and we're going to do that for all 4. So we've released all 4 little tabs, as you can see here. Now for each of these tabs, we're going to give them what I call a mitre cut. So that's a little angle cut to the left and right side. Just a very smidge, slight little hair, not a lot, just a small cut. And the reason we do this is it really does help when you fitting the box together. If your cutting and scoring hasn't been totally precise, and let's face it, that's going to happen to most of us at some point, then this really just helps the box to fit together really nicely and deal with that problem. So as you can see, I'm doing that for all of the 4 tabs, and we've got it all done. Let's get rid of all those little bits. They seem to always want to stay where you don't want them to stay, don't they? So get rid of that mess. And the one thing else we're going to do is here at the very top, again with the 1/2 inch score line to the right, we're just going to do a little mitre cut there as well, just like that. Okay, and we are done and dusted. That is all of our cutting done. So now we can start to put some of our designer series paper down. Now in my original I used Fresh as a Daisy, but this time I'm going to be using the Countryside Inn designer series paper. Isn't it pretty? It's so cute. And I've got 4 pieces here that measure 3.25 by 1 3/4, and I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow to stick these down. So let's just stick them down. Now if you're enjoying this video, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up so YouTube know, and please do consider subscribing for future videos. It really helps my videos and any content makers videos become more visible on YouTube. So there we go, one more down. And if you're very clever, you could have the patterns matching, but obviously I'm not that clever. But it looks cute anyway, and you don't even notice the patterns are not totally matching because it's quite a random pattern. There you go. So one more down and last one to go. And I really love the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper because it's all of these gorgeous blues, and we have some lovely blues and bluey greens in our colour range at the moment, and this really shows them off beautifully. Okay, so now we need to put our last little two pieces of paper down, but we need to make sure we put them in the right position. So I always fold the box up, and then I can see where my back and my front is, and you can see it's going to be number 2 and number 4 coming in from the right hand side. And I've got two little pieces of Designer Series paper, and they measure 1 3/4 inches by 3/4 of an inch. So let's just stick these little two pieces down, one and then the second one. And I love Tombow for doing things like this because it gives you a little wriggle room to get your thing totally straight, which is what you can see here exactly what I mean. Okay, so now we're ready to put our box together. So we're going to put some glue on this 1/2 inch tab that's to the right hand side when we've got our box in the horizontal position. So there we go, put some glue down, and then we're just going to fold the two ends to meet and give them a good press down so that the glue takes and sets. Okay, there we are. Always make sure your seam is to the back, which it is here. And now we can start to build up our base. So we can fold in our sides. And obviously my Tombow is not wanting to behave. There we go. Fold in our sides, 1, 2. And I always put glue on all of the tabs because I want it all stuck down properly. I don't want anything flapping up when it shouldn't. So fold down the front, and there we go. Make sure everything is still squared off and straight. And then we're going to turn it upside down, and we're going to just go in with our bone folder to make sure everything is truly stuck down. And there you can see. See, a bone folder has many uses in the craft room. Really useful tool. I think it's you can hear me on my little soapbox. I think it's a forgotten tool, but a really important tool. Okay, so now we're just going to push in with our fingers two sides, just gently, and bring the two tops to meet. And then we're just going to put our clip on top like that. Isn't that easy? Really, really simple. Really, really cute. Okay, so we're going to set that aside after I've finished the wonder that I actually made a box that works. And we're going to do a little stamping, and we're stamping in Night of Navy ink here. Last time we used Pretty Peacock, and the stamp set we're going to use is Seasonal Branches, and we're using the sentiment that says Happy Birthday Wishes, and it's just a small little sentiment. I can see myself using this one quite a number of times because it's such a useful sentiment, and I think my ink pad needs to be re-inked. I use them a lot. Okay, there we go. Close up our ink pad so nothing can fall into it, and then just quickly clean up our stamp. I'm a great believer in cleaning up as you go along. Saves a lot of problems later on. Now I'm going to bring in our double oval punch, and the small piece at the bottom will chop out nicely our happy birthday, but I just need to trim a little bit off the bottom here. And then we're going to just punch that out. Just struggling. I sometimes struggle to get things, or faff about getting things totally centered and straight instead of just going with it. But there we go, all punched out. And now we're going to punch out another piece with Balmy Blue cardstock, and this is going to be the piece at the top, the scallop bit, and we're just going to punch that out. This is a great way to use up your scraps. If you've got scraps, you can actually punch out pieces like this, put them in a little container and save them for future projects. Really, really useful. Okay, so now we are going to clear the decks a little bit, And then we're going to stick our sentiment into our balmy blue cardstock. Make sure we glue the right side. It's always useful. And let's try and center this. I think I've got glue on my fingers. I normally do. Hate having glue on my fingers, and I seem to always have fingers covered in glue. Just seems to be the luck of the draw. I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals, bring back my box, and I'm just going to put this at an angle on the front. And then I'm going to add some sequins, and these are the pastel sequins. And on my original, I used a gold sequin to match our clip, but this time I think I'm actually going to use one of the blue ones. And just going to put that there. And there is our 2 little milk cartons finished. Now, I hope you enjoyed the project. All the measurements and information will be on the blog post on my website. And if you need any more information, just ask. In the description box below, you'll find all my social media links, including the links to my Facebook groups and my retired Facebook products. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.